How are you today, Eltel? COCKEREL.
How am I? I'm fine, thank you. Yourself, Elly?
Yeah, I'm really well. Viva España! Come on, let's bring on the Spanish.
Viva el
Yes,
vino y las mujeres.
ne. I won't talk Greek because this is a Spanish show. And because I've got my special guest, Jose from Eltel COCKEREL, I'm really privileged to have him on my show. And we're going to be featuring Spain and how fabulous their team are. And I would put them up with the favourites, Jose. How about you?
Technically, they're up there. I've got a mixture of youth and youth and expertise in their team, and I think they're one of the front runners. I've not actually checked that. What I wanted to do is check out the draw. I might do that whilst you're talking. I'm going to check out the
Yeah.
draw so I can plot a route.
Right. While you're doing that, what I'll do, I'll go through all the World Cup winners again because it's always good to educate people in women's football. In my book, right? Because there's a lot of people that have not even watched one women's match, and they're going to be a big surprise when they start watching because the quality and the standard of the football is immense. We've already seen some fantastic saves from goalkeepers, magical saves. Even yesterday when England played Haiti, the goalie saved it from the penalty, but she was adjudged to have moved. But it was a fabulous save. It was a shame, really. But for the England, obviously, I'm supporting England. It was good that it was retaken and Georgia Stanway knocked it away. But let's get to these World Cup tournaments, right? So there's been 8, would you believe? Where have you been sleeping, everybody? Right. So there's been 8 women's World Cup tournaments. The inaugural winners in 1991 were USA. Now, USA have had a strong tradition of playing fantastic in the World Cup, and they've had a strong presence, and they're a very physical side, and they're very fit. And sometimes that overcomes all the technical teams, like Jose was saying. So, although they are technical, there are more technical teams in this World Cup coming up. But they beat Norway, actually, in 1995 as well. And then Norway beat Germany in 1999. The next World Cup, we saw USA beat China in 2003. And then in Germany beat Sweden in 2007. And they had back-to-back wins. Again, they won in 2007 and 2003. They beat Brazil in 2007. And then Japan were beaten by USA in 2000. Sorry, Japan beat USA in 2011. And then the last 2 World Cups, 2015 and 2019, which you should know by now, is USA won both back to back. And it was an English coach that led them there. Yeah. Jill Ellis. And the actual assistant coach was Tony Gustafsson, who now is the coach of Australia. So, there's a lot of things that we like to know about the women's football in general. But these World Cups, they're like the pinnacle of world football. So it's very good to know who's actually won it as well. So now we're going to get on to a few more things. Just bear with me while I scroll down. Right, I want to talk about the head coach, right? But first of all, I want to bring in Jose on the head coach, because I'm sure you know a little bit about him. What do you think his playing style is, and what do you think his tactical awareness is for these girls to lead them? Hopefully, he'll lead them to the World Cup final. What have you seen of him? What you've liked?
He plays with the squad he's got. I mean, we're just talking just now. The squad of
Yeah.
23 players. You've got 9 from Barcelona and 8 from Real Madrid. And there's a style of football that Barcelona and Real Madrid both play, which is very similar. It's a Spanish style that they've now embedded in for probably the last 10 years. And it's
Yeah.
the way they want. They're bringing their youth and they're under 15, 16, 17s, whatever. They're bringing them all the way through to play the same type of football. So
Yeah.
really, does he have to? I mean, I'm not the coach, but does he have to do much tinkering because they play exactly the same way they play for their clubs. So a lot of it is second nature to them because they play that style of football anyway. But as I said, it's something that's been embedded, as I said, for the last 10 years or so. There's a path and there's a philosophy that they've got, similar to what they did with the men's when they ended up winning the 2008, 2010, 2012 men's European and World Cups. There was
Yes.
we had we had some really good players, but then we had a plan with our youth teams, and that then came to fruition then. Similar now with the ladies, and I think the ladies' plan's been there for about 10 years now.
Yeah, and I think that gives them an added advantage that they know they're very familiar with each other. They've got that squad bondness, and they also got that style, like you mentioned. So they can take that into the games, and they don't have to tinker with it a lot. You know, there's certain times in a game, right, where you've got to maybe play harder than what you normally do, or maybe play a bit more cuter. Yeah. But the actual ethos of the style of play is embedded. So, which is fantastic, Jose. Thank you very much for that. You see, that's why I have COCKEREL, because he knows about Spanish football. He's a Spanish football scholar. That's what he is. And another Spurs fan, obviously. So it's lovely to have you in our community anyway. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some facts about your manager. Now, I'm pronouncing it Jorge Vilda. Jorge Vilda Rodriguez, right? He was born on the 7th of July, 1981, which makes him a Leo, so he's already a winner, right? He's age 42 and he was born in Madrid in Spain, so he's a capital man as well, right? So that's from good stock, because if you were born in Madrid, you know your stuff when it comes to football, right? Obviously, Real Madrid, and there's lots of other clubs there. There's Espanyol as well, or are they in Barcelona? No, it's Real Madrid and Real Betis.
No, Betis is down in the south in Andalusia.
Oh, right.
Real Madrid's in the middle of Spain. Towards the east, you've got Barcelona. Espanyol is part of Barcelona.
Yeah, they're in the Catalan areas.
Yeah.
So you in Milan, who are the rivals to Real Madrid? Is it Real Betis?
Atletico Madrid and Madrid.
Atletico Madrid are the big team. They're their main rivals.
That's it. They're both from Madrid.
Are Real Betis in that area as well?
No, Real Betis, Sevilla are down in the south. They're down in Andalusia.
Yeah. And does the word Real mean royal?
Yeah.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So back to this manager, who's a fabulous manager, by the way. He's been the manager since 2011, I believe. Let me just check that, just to make sure I'll give you the right details. Yeah, so I've got the managerial career. Well, he's been 2009 to 2013. He was the under-19 assistant manager. Then from 2009 to 2014, he was also Spain under-17 women's manager. So he was like double banking, wasn't he? Right. And then 2014 to 2015, he became the under-19s women. So you see, he's coming from good pedigree, and he's taking that ethos right throughout the teams. Right. But we'll get to the youth teams later, because they've had a fabulous time, those youth players of Spain. Right. So I put here, he was a former youth player of Real Madrid, Rayo Vallecano,
yeah.
And FC Barcelona. So he's coming from good stock as a youth player as well. And Vilda became an assistant coach at the under-17 and under-19 level before taking the head coach's position with Spain's under-17s in 2009. During 5 years at that level, Spain won gold, 2010 and 2011. They also won silver in 2014 and bronze in 2013 at UEFA Women's Under-17s Euro Championships. In addition, he won silver medal in 2014 and bronze medal in 2010. And at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in 2014, he was among the 10 nominees for that year's FIFA Coach of the Year for women's football, and was appointed to the head coach's role with Spain's under-19s who collected silver medals at the UEFA Women's under-19 Euro in 2014 and 2015 before being appointed as head coach to the senior side then. You see what fabulous stock he's come from. You know, if you've got a guy like that in your midst and he knows what the Spanish ethos of play inside out, it bodes well, doesn't it, Jose?
Yeah, certainly. As I said, it's what I said earlier. Is at the end of the day, there's not much. Okay, he's a coach in his own right, but it's not as if he's having to bring a group of 23 players that play for 15 individual clubs.
Yeah.
Two of these clubs, the two biggest clubs in Spain, arguably, and he's got 17 of the squad players just come from them clubs. You've got a couple from Atletico Madrid. You've got one from Levante, one from Valencia. It's all there. It's all there
for him.
Yeah.
But he just has to make sure that the girls stay focused, because as a coach, you're a mentor as well, aren't you? Right? And you've got to keep
sorry, Elly, then as you said, but because he's done the unders as well, he's grown up, or sorry, I can't say grown up. He's watched them grow up and come through as well. So,
yeah.
I was saying to you earlier, the squad age for Spain, we've got loads of people in the 22, 23, 24 bracket. Now, if you go back to the years when he was doing the under-17s, them people would have been under his stewardship back then. So he's grown with them.
Yeah. And because he knows them inside out, right, there's nothing really. I mean, you can learn little more details about everybody in life. He's got the core there, and he's got a core strength, right? And it bodes well for this World Cup, because I don't think many people are back in Spain to actually go on and win it. But I am, and I'm sure the Spanish people are, right? Because they technically, I think, this is my personal opinion, I think they're the best team technically on the ball.
I think
that's my opinion.
I think looking at what you got, 8 groups. Is there 8 groups this year in the World Cup, Women's World Cup?
Yeah, there's 8 groups, A to G.
Okay,
8 to H, sorry.
Okay,
I'll
so
bring the groups up. Let me just bring the groups up for you.
A to H. Yeah, there are 8 groups, right? And out of the 8 groups, I would say, and people may think I'm being biased, and I don't think I am though. I would say arguably the biggest group game will be Spain versus Japan. If you're looking at technicality, the technical abilities, Spain, Japan, pure technical players will be on show against each other.
Yeah, I'm going to just bring up the World Cup groups so that everybody can see them. So Spain are in Group C, as you can see. They're grouped with Costa Rica, who we'll come to about the match later. And then they've got Zambia and Japan. So you've got 2 of the most technical teams in the same group. And then in Group A, you've got New Zealand, Norway, Philippines, and Switzerland. In Group B, you've got Australia, Republic of Ireland, Nigeria, and Canada. And then Group D, England, Haiti, Denmark, and China. That's our group in England for all the English people tuning in. And then you've got Group E, United States, Vietnam, Netherlands, Portugal. Well, we've had some results already, but, most people know them, so we won't go over them. We'll just concentrate on the Spanish results.
If you're looking at Group C, just look, the winners and the runners-up of Group C face the winners and runners-up of Group A.
Yeah. So I would imagine, if I'm putting my money on it, I would imagine Switzerland and New Zealand will go through on that group, or Switzerland and Norway, because New Zealand had a fabulous result against Norway, didn't they? They beat them 1-0, didn't they? Yeah. So, I mean, the other groups, Group G, Sweden, South Africa, Italy and Argentina, a very strong group. And Germany, Morocco, Colombia and South Korea. Another group that might have a few surprises in. You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, the Argentine, I think, is obviously Spain's show, but Brazil are yet to play. They'll be playing Panama.
Yeah.
You've got Argentina and Italy facing off against each other. And then you're going to have the Germany group. So the Germans will come into play as well. So we'll see what they're all about as well.
So what we're going to do now, Jose, is we're going to go to the chat, because We can't keep people waiting too long, because the chat is the bread and butter, isn't it? They're the people that make this show rock. So we've got my niece Drula saying afternoon to the two L's. Yes, I love that. Brilliant, Drula. Right, and then we've got Wayne Bonner saying, good afternoon, lady and gentlemen, and everyone else. How are you all today? Well, I'm pretty good, and I've got Eltel by my side. And you know what? This guy knows a lot about Spanish football, so it's good. And the pronunciations as well. That helps me. I've already got one wrong. Right, so we've got Wayne Bonner saying, afternoon, Drula, lovely. And then Drula saying, afternoon, Wayne. And then we've got Wayne Bonner saying Spain were absolutely brilliant against Costa Rica, played lovely, lovely football. Yes, they did. Absolutely fabulous. The way they move the ball and the way they move off the ball is very Barcelona-like. I don't know about Real Madrid, because I think Real Madrid play with a bit more, I don't know, when I'm comparing the men's team now, but I'm going for the women's team, I think Real Madrid play with more, not ticky-tacky, they play more sort of on the offence. They get the ball forward very quickly, what I've seen of them, you know. But you know more about Real Madrid's women, I would expect, than me. I have watched a few games for obviously to research this stream, but also I've been watching ladies football in general, and there is a slight contrast of style I've seen. I think Barcelona probably are the better team, I would say.
Yeah, that goes without a doubt. They're the European champions, and they're that for a reason, aren't they?
I know. And they just beat a very good side in Wolfsburg, who actually knocked out Woolwich in the semi-final. So I was really happy about that. And do you know what? I was reading up that Arsenal are the only English club to have won the European, Champions League, sorry. They're the only English club to have done it. Yeah. And I mean, Lyon have won it 8 times. Olympic Lyon. So French football is up there as well, isn't it? So that's another team to watch out for, France.
Who drew against Jamaica today.
Yeah. See, and now Jamaica, just a little bit of tit-tat as well, just dropping a bit of the Spurs ladies, because I'm an ex-Spurs lady myself. Right, we've got Drew Spence and Becky Spencer. Becky Spencer plays in goal, and Drew Spence. So I'm going to catch the highlights of that game later to see how they both done. So I'm really interested in watching that. It's because like what I'm doing, because I'm preparing for the shows, yeah, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into these shows. And you know, sometimes you can miss a game or two. So I'm going to be catching up because I've got FIFA's website loaded on my phone, so I can watch all the highlights. So Wayne Bonner says, Elly just stole my line. The quality in women's football is superb. That hated keeper's save against England was absolutely brilliant. Gutted when it was retaken. Oh, no. What did you think of that, Jose?
The retaken penalty?
Yeah. Did you think it was a fair decision?
Yeah, well, to the naked eye, okay, I know I wear glasses, but to the naked eye, I thought she had moved. However, when you see it back again, and they, you know, because in the VAR room they can freeze frame everything. She'd clearly moved early. She clearly had.
Yeah.
I had a feeling with the naked eye, but yeah, she clearly had moved early.
And sometimes it's if you've not got one foot on the line, I believe.
Yeah.
That's right.
But she had no feet on the line at all. She was already like a foot or two in front with both of her feet. She was already mid dive.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, right, I felt gutted for her, but at the same time, I was happy for England because I'm going to be supporting England because Greece haven't made it, Cyprus haven't made it. So if England go out, I'm supporting Republic of Ireland as well for our Irish boys, do you know? So everybody knows that I've got dual nationality anyway already. So you know what? I want to a winner because now I've invited you. I want Spain to do very well as well. And I've got a soft spot for the Spanish because every time I go to Spain, they're lovely to me, right? Anyway, we've got Dermot saying, big up, guys. Have a great show. Thank you very much, Dermot and Philip. And then we've got Ben Kaufman. See, I know how to pronounce that. Ben Kaufman. Hello there, Ben. What a coffee man he is. He makes a delicious cup of coffee. Right then. Oh, yes, this is you. Afternoon, all in the chat. Hope you enjoy the stream and hit the like buttons. Yes, hit those like buttons because it really does help the channel. And as you can see along the bottom, if you can give us a super chat as well. We know times are hard, but if you could give us a super chat, that would be lovely too. It helps our channel grow. And also just subscribe. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to THFC till I die. And this young gentleman by my side, I will be bringing up his hook later on as well. COCKEREL. Yeah, you know what? That sounds like the guns of Navarone, or what's that other film they had, which was like COCKEREL. I've forgotten, but I know what I'm saying. But sometimes I forget the films. Yeah. Gunfight at the old El Corral. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Wayne Bonner saying, afternoon, Mr. Kaufman. I'll not be talking kit mats today. Okay. Everybody to their own, isn't it? Then we've got David Clark. Welcome, David. Hi from Leicester. Watching England ladies in the World Cup, it was obvious what England's problems were. With the 4-3-3 system, they played the ball out wide to the wings too early. They just doubled up. Do you know what? I agree with him in a way. Yeah, I do. Because, and also our strikers, right? We didn't play Rachel Daly from the start, and we didn't play Beth England, who are scoring for fun for their clubs. Beth England's got 12 in 12 for Spurs, and Rachel Daly, I believe she scored 31 goals this season. And she didn't play them. So it was obvious we were going to struggle to score a goal. You can't always rely on your fringe players to get you that goal, Jose. So I was really disappointed, you know, and they could have beaten us, the Haiti team. They had some really good breaks.
I think if we look, we're going to digress now to England. From what I saw from England's game the other night, or the other morning, yesterday morning, it was English time, wasn't it? The players that they've got out injured, they really miss them.
Yeah.
So when you look at the spine of the team, and you look at Frank Kirby.
Frank Kirby is missing.
Kirby, and you got Leah Williamson. So when you look at that,
three big players.
I mean, I think England made a mistake. I think they should have played James from Chelsea. She should have started the game, and they should play her in the number 10 in the hole behind the striker.
Yeah.
Don't play her out wider than that. She has got so much skill. She's left-footed and right-footed. Stick her in the hole in the 10 is where I'd play her. But last year, in the Euros, it worked out really well because you had Frank Kirby and you had the lady up front who retired. No, the lady that plays centre forward who retired.
Jill Scott.
No, she played centre forward. The lady was a striker, and she's retired.
She's retired.
Yeah, she was like 33 already in the Euros. But anyway, going back to my point, what I'm trying to say is what they did. The impact subs that used to come on for them were Ella Toone and Russo.
Yeah,
and they impacted games, and because they were impact players. But you're now asking Toone to play in the 10. Russo was playing up front, and they didn't provide that oomph and spark that they did as impact players. And then you've got, for me, as I said, you've got a lady who scored. I don't know how many did Rachel Daly get? Although she played left back in the Euros for England, she's now forward to Villa.
Yeah, because they converted her to a striker. She's a fantastic striker.
And then you've got Beth England as well. So you've got players that, but Serena Wiegman, she
Ellen White. That's who it was.
That's it.
Yeah, I just remember. Do you know what? Sometimes I've got it, and sometimes I lose it. But Ellen White, fantastic player.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, she doesn't make that many changes, Serena Wiegman. However, I think that England looked, and I'll be honest, they looked really lethargic. Really did look lethargic. And was that game the easiest game for them in the group on paper?
Do you know what? In the warm-up games against Portugal and Canada, I saw both. I saw a Portugal game right throughout, and I watched the Canada highlights, and they looked the same, very lethargic, didn't move the ball well. Also, Lauren James, I agree with you. She should be played as a number 10. Initially, they were going to play her as a number 10. They didn't play her in this game, and they brought her on quite not late in the game, but they brought her on and played her on the wing, which I
technically,
it's a waste of talent.
Technically, see how good a player she is.
She's brilliant. So I would put her up with the most technical players in England by far. You know, and she's so strong on the ball. Very hard to knock off.
If she wanted to move clubs, go to Barcelona, because you wouldn't look out of place.
You know what I mean? She's at Chelsea's at the moment. They just done they've done the double. So let's see what Barcelona do in the transfer market. They might be, you know, at this World Cup. We've got David Clark. He's saying, and if Beth England not the best striker in that England squad, then I'm a Dutchman. If they fail to play her, it will cost us in the comp. Yes, I agree. You know, I'm not biased because I've seen Beth England live in 12 matches last season for Spurs, and she was absolutely sensational, you know. So all for Serena Wiegman. I've written her an email already. I worded it nicely. That's my famous motto as well. Right. Elly's famous for her emails, you know, because I've got Spurs to wake up and let the girls play at White Hart Lane as their ambassador. So yeah, but let's get through this chat because we want to get back to Spain. We don't want to be harping on about England all the time. Godfrey Drummond saying, after all, Jamaica drew with France. Well done, ladies from Jamaica. Yeah, our two ladies, Drew Spence and Becky Spencer. David Clark, we were fortunate to beat Spain in the Euros. True. Matthew saying, do you heard this Mbappe to Spurs rumours? It's getting stronger. I'll doubt that one. It's probably getting stronger in the fake news. Right. And then Matthew, ticky-tacky football at its best. Yeah, true. He's talking about Spain now, I presume. And then Wayne Bonner, I didn't think a lot of France earlier. A lot of their passing was too short and ineffective, held them back, in my opinion. Right. Yeah.
Who does Khadija Shaw play for?
Khadija Shaw plays for Man City.
Okay, she was sent off in today's game.
Oh, yeah, because her nickname's Bunny, by the way. Yeah, she scored at Brisbane Road against us, 2 goals, actually. Brilliant goals as well, mate.
She's now out the group games because she was sent off in.
There you go.
Yeah, with 2 minutes into injury time.
They've lost a fantastic striker. That's going to damage them. Oh dear, that's bad news for Jamaica.
Well, they picked up their first point in World Cup football, Jamaica, today. So well done, Jamaica.
When I go and get my Jamaican patty later, I'll be talking about that to the Jamaican ladies because I've got a Jamaican patty shop down the road. They do nice rice and peas as well and some jerk chicken. Right, so Daniel Field saying, swings in the chat like a monkey boy. Yeah, look, and we've got our first super chat. Well done, Wayne Bonner. Thank you very much for that. Very, 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 very appreciated. Wayne Bonner with the £2 super chat. What's a super chat? I love it. He knows what a super chat is, though, old Wayne Bonner. Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate that. David Clark saying that Haiti keeper was off the line before the ball was placed down on the spot. Lol. Yeah, I would agree with that because one foot has to stay on the line, and she did move. Yeah, then Wayne Bonner saying England were disappointing. Their football and passing was too slow, a little disorganised. Too disorganised and lethargic, like Jose said. Wayne Bonner, was it Kelly White? It was Ellen White, but that's near enough for me, sorry. And then we got Daniel E saying they look quite lacklustre in their first game of the Euros as well. England but soon stepped it up. I'm not judging too much after the first group game. Yeah, because you've got to get into your stride, yeah? And they probably weren't expecting Haiti to be so good, that De Mornay especially. And David Clark saying, Beth England is the only true centre-forward in that squad, both feet and great in the air. Very true. Oh, my God, she's got it all, that girl. She can spin on assistance. She's fast. She's strong. She can head the ball. She's got everything. 2 feet. She can cut inside, outside. Absolutely stunning footballer, right? We got her from Chelsea, so she's come from fantastic stock. Then Wayne Bonner saying Shaw's red card was never a sending off. Well, I didn't see it, but I'll give my opinion when I see it, Wayne, and I'll let you know in Twitter. So don't worry there, lad. Right, let's get back to Spain now. Thank you very much for all those beautiful chats, everybody. But we've got to get back to the Spanish team. Viva España. Right, so now what we're going to do is say how Spain qualified, right? So in their qualifying group, let me just get it up. Well, I couldn't write everything down, just put it that way, because there's so many banners, right? So let me get their qualifying group up. Just bear with me, right? And while I'm doing that, Jose, talk about your star player who you like to talk about, the one that you saw yesterday, that one who really impressed you.
The first one I'm going to talk about is Salma Parayuelo.
Lovely.
She's a left-footed player of mixed race. She's currently at Barcelona. She's only played five games for Barcelona and scored 4 goals. She previously played for Zaragoza in the young leagues, and then she was at Villarreal for 3 years, where she played 37 games and scored 23 goals.
Brilliant.
She's played for the under 17s, under 19s, under 20s, and now as a Spain international. She's currently got 8 caps for Spain, and she scored 6 goals.
Brilliant.
She's only 19 years of age. She is a future Ballon d'Or winner. She is absolutely
100%.
brilliant. I knew nothing about her until I watched the game yesterday morning, and straight away my eyes were transfixed on her. I thought, what a player! Look at that player, so cultured and in and out. And the thing is, she's quite tall. Well, she looked tall on telly. She's 1 meter 74, so she's 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, that's good. Elegant.
But she was a dream to watch, and it's the first time I've clapped eyes on her. And she's the youngest player in the squad.
Wow.
She's the youngest player in the squad.
When you've got a young talent like that, you look after it, don't you? You know, because she's not just like blazing it up in the future. She's doing it here and now in this World Cup, you know. And when you talked about her the other day, you were so excited to tell me about her. Jose was on the phone. I was talking to him for quite a while, but he was bigging up this girl for about 3/4 of the conversation, which tells you a lot. Yeah. I think she's going to be one. What in the next round, you're going to need those type of players who can play left foot, right foot, and she's got pace as well.
Yeah,
she is
predominantly left-footed, but she started off playing. She started off playing on the left, and she had good link up with what's her name? She had a good link up with Olga Carmona, who played left back. But then in the second half, she came out and she went onto the right hand side. Although she's left footed, she came out and played on the right, so it was inverted and coming in and that. But she looked different. She looked different gear. Honestly, she looked real. She looked so good, and she caught my eye straight away from the start of the game. And then I started looking her up, and I thought to myself, "Wow, 19 years of age."
Wow, brilliant. So, like, I have got it up now, the actual qualifying group. So, you was in Group B in the 2022 qualifying group for 2023. You played 8 games. Spain, they've got a goal difference of 53, plus 53. Amazing. And they got 24 points. And second was Scotland, who actually lost out to Ireland, Republic of Ireland, in the playoffs. And then Ukraine were third. Like Scotland got 16 points, sorry. Their goal difference was 9. Ukraine was eight games minus 8 with 10 points. Hungary were fourth with 9 points, sorry, from 8 games, 0 goal difference. And Faroe Island women were minus 54. They were the whipping girls of the group, weren't they?
Yeah,
I know I don't like to say that, you know, but you know, sometimes
Spain at home beat Scotland 8-0. They beat Ukraine 5-0. They beat Hungary 3-0, and they beat the Faroes 12-0. So that's what's that? 13, 25. That's 28 goals for and none against at home. And then away they beat Scotland 2-0 away. They drew 1-1 away in Ukraine. Sorry, no, take that back. So against Spain, they won 2-0 away at Spain. They won 6-0 away at the Ukraine. They won 7-0 away at Hungary, and they won 10-0 away at the Faroe Islands. So
Oh
they
my God.
scored 53 goals and conceded none in 8 games.
Amazing. Plus 53 goal difference. That is, I think that is the best out of all the qualifying groups. If anybody's better, I haven't seen it because I've gone through all the qualifying groups, but they have played some friendlies as well. And recently they beat USA 2-0 as well, which is no mean feat. I've got the actual friendly results up here. Let me just find them. I think I put them under friendly matches, if I'm right. Details World Cup. Let's see if it's here. No, it's not. But they did actually beat USA 2-0. I saw in the friendly. I think it was last season, 2022.
I'll tell
In
you
a
now.
friendly.
I had all this up as well, so let me see.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it on my phone because it might be there. It's not there. Whenever I want to find something on my phone, can I find it? No. Right, I did write it. I put friendly matches. Matches and dates and venues. It could be here. Quarterfinals. No, that's the path to who you're going to play. But I mean, let's talk about while we're looking up that. Let's talk about your result against Spain, against Costa Rica. Sorry, 3-0. It was played on Friday, the 21st of July.
Sorry, I've got the results. So
yeah,
in the cup. So in 2023, they've played in the Cup of Nations. They beat Jamaica 3-0.
that's it.
Australia beat Spain 3-2 in Sydney. They then beat the Czech Republic 3-0. And in the friendlies, Spain have beaten Norway 4-2. They've beaten China 3-0. They've beat Panama 7-0. They've
Yeah,
beaten Denmark 2-0, Vietnam 9-0, and that's the games that they've played this year. However, last year in their
that's it.
friendlies, they drew 1-1 with Sweden. They beat United States 2-0. They beat
That's it.
Argentina
Yeah.
7-0 and beat Japan 1-0.
I was impressed with that USA win as well, because they're as world champions. If you beat the world champions in any competition, it's fabulous. So that was the standout result for me. Even though it was a friendly, it doesn't matter. It's still a competitive match, and you beat them 2-0. So it shows that you come from very good stock. So now I'm going to move on to the 23-woman squad. So let me have a look here. So I don't want that one. I want the ones where I've got all the players' names, star players and right. I'm going to talk about some up and coming players. Actually, I want to. You've mentioned one lady. Who was your other lady who you wanted to mention?
Well, I from my conversation with you the other day and what I've done today is I've highlighted and I'm going based on the eye test on what I saw in the first game. And I've
Yeah.
highlighted 6 players. There's a 7th player, but everybody knows who the 7th player is. And I said to you that the seventh player that come on, you can see was like head and shoulders above anybody. Even all the other technical players that Spain have got, head and shoulders, 2-footed, in and out. Absolute superstar of a player. But there are other players that caught my eye on the day.
Yeah.
So if I start, shall I start at the back?
Yeah. Start from the top.
Okay, so at the back, I was really impressed with Irene Paredes, who is a centre half. And she also plays. She plays for Barcelona, but she's been quite well travelled because she's been at Real Sociedad, then Atletico Bilbao, then she was at PSG for 5 years.
She's the 32-year-old, isn't she? 32-year-old centre back. Is that right?
She
Irene
is, yes,
Paredes.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah, Irene Paredes.
Paredes.
But you must be some player because before Barcelona, the French were ripping it all up, weren't they? And
Yeah.
PSG especially, and she played with PSG for 5 years, and now has come to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Came to Barcelona and has been at Barcelona for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
She absolute mustard on the ball, but ball carrying centre half. She's a tall lady. So, well, I'm looking at these heights now. She looked tall on telly, but looking at the heights, it says 5'10", but she looked
That's
quite
quite
tall to
tall.
me. She looked
You know what it
quite tall to me.
is? It's because ladies have got long legs, isn't it? And the men are looking at that bit.
I don't know about that.
Not
But
just
yeah,
the men, the women as well.
she stood out for me. And then the other one that stood out for me was Olga Carmona, who played left back. She looked superb playing from left back. And she started
She's
her
only
career.
23.
Yeah, she's only 23.
Oh,
She started her career at Sevilla, was there for 3 years, and then went to Real Madrid, and she's currently at Real Madrid now. She's another one of these that's come through the under 19s and under 23s before
brilliant.
making her Spanish national appearances, and she's now made
Yeah.
22 of them. Then if I move into midfield, I'm going to get slated by people, but what I said to you on the phone, I'm not going to change my words. I said that this player reminded me of Kira Walsh.
Right.
But I said, but with an elite skill level, a 2-footed elite skill level, and that's Aitana Bonmati.
Yeah, because Kira Walsh is sort of the darling of the English football team at the moment, because she's the one that everybody looks for to get us through matches and be our playmaker. Really, you know, she's the ball tackling, all action girl, isn't she?
But Bonmati does all of that, but he's 2-footed and scores goals.
Yeah, you see.
And and she's
You know
another
what?
one
It
that's come.
doesn't matter. Sometimes you've got to upset people,
Yeah,
Jose. You know.
she's another one who's come through. And looking at her international career, she's come through the under 17s, then the under 19s, then the under 20s, and has now made 48 appearances and scored 17 goals. She's 25. She's
Brilliant.
5'4", so she's diminutive, but she glides. She looks superb. She broke up play. She set up attacks, and she scored a goal. And she stood out for me in the game the other day.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then the next one I looked at, we've talked about already, was Salma Barriuelo. But then
Oh,
you've got Jenny Hermoso. Jenny
yeah.
Hermoso.
Oh my God.
You can see she's not as fast as what she used to be,
No.
but in the head, she's like streets ahead of people. Streets and streets ahead of people.
Yeah.
She makes it look easy. She's streets and streets ahead. Obviously she's now 33. It was quite
Yes.
surprising because she actually left Barcelona the year before last to go and play in Mexico for Pachuca. Um,
Yeah.
and to me, honestly, watching her, I mean, I don't know how long careers are for women, but watching her play the other day, I thought to myself, listen, at 33, you can come back and play for Barcelona again. You're that good. You can come back and play one of the top European sides straight away again. So
Yeah.
she impressed me, and as I said, her brain was just top shelf. Um, then you
So
have Esther Gonzalez, who's the number 9, played up front. She's now 30 years old. She's 5'3", and she was winning
5'3".
she was winning headers. I couldn't really.
Do you know what? If you look at, like, in the Spurs team, Lucas Moura, I think he's about 5'8", 5'9", and he jumps higher than Harry Kane.
But
He's
the
got
thing is,
like spring. It
but
doesn't matter.
but obviously I'm highlighting players, Ellie, that I watched yesterday morning. Oh, sorry, the
Yeah,
Friday morning. But I didn't realise how tall they were. It's now that I'm looking at the stats, I'm thinking to myself, really, she was winning headers and that, and she's 5'3".
I know. It just shows you, right? You can be athletic and shorter, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, when I was playing, I'm only 5'4", and I could jump up quite high, and I was like a little skinny stick then, right?
yeah,
So I had very good athleticism, but I could use both feet as well. But you know what? It's all in the head as well. You could be the most technical player, but if you ain't clued up in the head as a footballer, you can lose the ball just like that, because the
yeah,
opponent will outsmart you. You've got to be one step ahead of the game. And as you get older, you use your brain even more, right? Like Teddy Sheringham did for Spurs.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he's well noted for it. He didn't have pace, but he had it all up there, right? He was ahead of the game. Yeah.
So you've
So,
got with
yeah,
Esther Gonzalez. She's 30. She started her career at Levante, then went to Atlético Málaga, then Sporting de Huelva, then Atlético Madrid, then Levante again, and now she's been at Real Madrid for the last 2 seasons. She's
Brilliant.
she's played 38 times and got 27 goals. But she looked really good when I watched it the other night. And then the last player, and it's the 7th player that I'm highlighting, was, and she goes without
There's
saying,
enough. There's enough.
Alexi Putellas.
Whoa.
When she came on the pitch,
Fabulous player.
when she came on the pitch, she did look head and, even though I'm bigging up some of the players, she looked head and shoulders. It's just the way she controls the ball.
Yeah.
It was like the ball dropped dead when it was coming to her,
It's
and
like
it was
part of her body, isn't
yeah,
it?
it was either
Yeah.
foot. She was playing it off the left, playing it off the right, and she passes, moves, and then stops, and the player's gone. She sent the player for a Burton, as they used to call it. The player's gone running that way, but she's come the other way. Just by stopping, the player's gone for a Burton, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, everyone knows she's a double Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a double Ballon d'Or winner, so everybody knows about her. But it's not until you, I mean, I've heard her name many a time. I'm not going to profess that I've watched her playing in and out, but when I watched it the day before yesterday, she was head and shoulders. She is pure world class.
I've got a little bit more information about her to tell
far
everybody
away.
as well. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with the actual goalkeepers first of all, because I've written them all down for everybody so they can get familiar with the names. And with the goalkeepers, I've put their heights in as well. So we've got in goal, the 3 goalies that have been chosen are Maria Rodriguez of Real Madrid. She's 5'8". She's 24 years old. And then we've got Inés Salón of 5'6", playing for Valencia. And then with the last lady, she's very young, 22 years old, 5'7", COCKEREL. She plays for Barcelona as well. So you see, they've got 3 young goalkeepers there. I think they're the youngest goalies collectively in the competition. I read about that. So you know what? It doesn't matter that she might even change her goalie from the first game to give the other girls some experience. So I was looking at the lineup, and they did actually play Maria Rodriguez.
Yeah, they called her Mira. She's 20. She's 23. She's only
23 years old.
She's got 15 caps, but then Inés Salón only has 2 caps, and Catalina Cole has 0 caps. And
she's got no caps yet.
No, 21, 22, and 23 years old.
But she's waiting in the wings. She's waiting in the wings for her chance, isn't she?
Actually, you're quite right, because the Spanish website says she's 23, Maria Rodriguez, but it's her birthday today, so she's 24 today.
Yeah, so I've got that. She's 24 today. I've actually made a note of that. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. You see, that's why you invite somebody Spanish on there, because they're going to give you all diligence. You know what I mean? Right now we're moving on to the defenders. We've got Irene. How do you pronounce her surname?
Paredes.
She's 32 years old. Fabulous player from Barcelona. You know, when you play for Barcelona, you know you've made it as a footballer in Spain, right? If you're chosen to go and play there from a lesser club, you know, they've scouted you and they want you in their team. So, you know, all the best players and the majority of players are for Barcelona and Real Madrid anyway. And then she's a centre-back, I believe, right? Then we've got Ivana Andres. She's 29 years old of Real Madrid. Don't know a lot about her, but I didn't research her because there wasn't nothing major coming out at me about her. But obviously she's got experience. She's 29 years old. I'm not sure how many caps she's had.
48.
But she's I've noted there she's Real Madrid and captain and a centre-back. So, you know, to be captain, you know,
she's another one, Elly, who's about 5'3".
5'3".
She's tiny.
That's average for a woman, you know what I mean?
But Paredes looks like a mountain next to him. Paredes is 5'10". So
you see, you don't realise how shorter they are until somebody tall goes and stands next to them. But most of the girls are around about 5'3", 5'6", and then there's the odd ones. No, there's obviously taller ones, but the majority are around about 5'5", 5'6". Yeah, and then you get the taller goalies. Then we've got Honor. Is it Battle of Barcelona? She's only 24 years old. She's a fullback, right? So there you go. There's the defenders.
and you missed Olga Carmona, who I was.
Oh no, no, I've got that here.
Oh,
I've
okay.
actually got that on the next
there
one.
she is.
We've got Leah Codina.
Yeah.
I think Leah Codina she's
Leia,
23 years, of Barcelona, and then she's a centre back. Olga Carmona, 23 years old, Real Madrid. We've already mentioned her, fabulous player. Rocio Galvez, 26
Rocio.
years.
Rocio Galvez.
Rocio Galvez. You have to go, don't you? It's Greek. It's a Greek is like you twist you roll your words. In Spanish, it's like you slap it like down onto your tongue, isn't it? Right, and then we got I don't know how to pronounce that name. Is it
Oyan
Hernandez?
Oyan
Brilliant
Hernandez.
names. 23 years old of Atletico Bilbao. I think she's the only player from that team, if I remember rightly. But I'll move on to the next lot. Right. Oh, yeah. She was a player. She had great success with her former club, Deportivo La Coruña.
Coruña, that should have meant, but that's all right.
Yeah. Is it Coruña?
Yeah, Coruña, C-O rather than C-A. But that's
Yeah. I can change
You're on
that
the right
later.
track. You're on the right
track.
track.
Yeah. It's because I spell it the English way, you know what I mean? Right. And then in midfield, very talented midfield they've got. Now, midfield, Teresa Abellera. Right, 23 years old. I was reading up about her and I made some notes. She's regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world, has incredible vision. She grew up in a footballing family. Her dad was a coach and her brother was a player as well. So, yeah, she's coming from fantastic stock, and everybody's raving about her, but I'm not sure if she played well against Spain against Costa Rica, because I've only seen the highlights so far. I haven't seen the full 90 minutes, but I will catch up with it because I'm really interested in the Spanish team in particular for the technical skill and the fabulous players that you've got. So I'm not sure. Did she make a good game at all? Did she play a good game?
She played well. She played next to Bomati. She did play well.
Yeah.
She did play well, but as I said, for me, I mean, at the end of the day, Elly, I could have turned around and I could have given you 14 players, 15 players, but I'm not going to do that.
We'll be here all day, but we want to keep it rolling because Spain kicked off their World Cup campaign. Have I done the strikers yet? Have I done the strikers? I haven't, have I?
No. You haven't done all the midfielders either because you've missed Bomati, Putellas.
Yeah, no, I've got the midfielders, but I wrote them down. Maybe I didn't save them. That's the problem.
But I've talked about Bomati already, so
there we go. I've got more midfielders, have I? Let me have a look there. No, that ain't it. So then I'll go on to the strikers. So there's some more midfielders, isn't there? Just fill us into more midfielders.
But I spoke about them already. You had Aldaina Bonmati.
Nice.
And then you got obviously the sub that came on, Alexi Putellas. But it's quite interesting because when you look at the Spanish squad on the official page, most of the players that played in the five behind Estela Gonzalez, they're all strikers here, but they all played in midfield.
Yeah, that's
so you see. So you got Athenia del Castillo. She played, but she's down here as a striker. You got Jenny Hermoso, who's down as a striker. Salma Barruelo, who's down as a striker. And then when the subs came on, Mariona Caldente came on, but she's down as a striker as well. So I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I've got it here now because I wrote them down, but I must not have saved those other midfielders. But I've got, that's the actual scorers of the goals for your game against Costa Rica. So I've got them all here. The midfielders, Maria Perez of Barcelona, Alexia Putellas of Barcelona, Claudia Zonosa. Is it Claudia Zonosa of Real Madrid?
Claudia
Zornoza. Mariona Caldente.
Yeah. Mariona Caldente, yeah.
Yeah. Eva Navarro of Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And then we've got Salma Paraleo
Barayuelo, yeah.
Ariello.
She is the
She's
future
the one.
Ballon
She's
d'Or
the
winner,
future. Come
multi
on. Right. And then I've got another, then the forward line is Athenia del Castillo,
del Castillo, yeah,
yeah, Real Madrid, Esther
yeah,
Gonzalez of
yeah,
Real Madrid, Jennifer Hermoso,
yeah.
forward, and she's the one who went to Mexico, isn't she?
She still,
She
yeah, she
played
plays for Pachuca.
Pachuca. It's
Yeah,
P-A, they've spelt it here, Pachuca.
yeah,
Is that
Pachuca,
right?
yeah, Pachuca,
And
yeah,
then there's Marta Cordona.
yeah.
Martha Cordona of Atletico Madrid.
Right,
Yeah.
but according to Esther Gonzalez, she's unattached at the moment. She hasn't got a club.
Yeah, I read that, but then like, yeah, she scored yesterday, didn't she?
Yeah, she
She
did, but
plays.
she hasn't got a club. She's still on the Spanish website. She's still down as unattached. They've not given her a club.
Yes, so she actually left Real Madrid then.
Well, she hasn't got a club at the moment. So if I go back into her,
Ah, was
right,
she?
it says it says here her stats say that she's played for Real Madrid for the last 2 seasons, but she's now down as unattached.
Ah, right. So she's left Real Madrid then, because we've got a couple of unattached players at Spurs as well. We've got Shalina Sadorski. Well, she said that she's going to leave, but she hasn't officially been noted as unattached. But I think she will be. And Kaya Simon, who plays for Australia, she had an ACL injury all season, so she's unattached as well. But I'm going to write her an email. I told Kate I'm writing her an email to come back to Spurs, because I like Kaya Simon. So now we've got Spain kicked off their World Cup campaign on Friday, the 21st of July, played and beat Costa Rica 3-0. The goal scorers were Valeria del Campo, it's an own goal from Costa Rica. Then she's a number five defender, sorry. And then that was on the 21st minute. On the 23rd minute, 2 minutes later, I don't know how to pronounce that name, so can you pronounce it for me? Ayadana Bonmati Concha?
Yeah, yeah,
Is her first
yeah.
name Concha?
On the website, it says her name on the back is Bonmati.
Bonmati. That's her
Yeah.
surname then, I presume.
Well,
Bonmati.
yeah, Aldana Bonmati.
Yeah.
I don't know where Concha comes from because I've not seen that.
Sounds a
But
bit, Bonmati in Greek means a piece of something. And then a brilliant goal by striker Esther Gonzalez in
Esther
the
Gonzalez.
27th minute, and a missed penalty on 34 minutes from 33-year-old Jennifer Hermoso.
Yeah.
Fuentes. That's her full name, by the way. An attacking midfielder sometimes plays as a false nine, they said. Yeah. Right, so moving on, the match stats for the Costa Rica-Spain game. Right, so it was 12 shots made by Spain, 12 shots on target, 14 shots off target. Sorry, let me bring that up again. Where's it gone? That's it. 18 block shots, 81% possession, incredible. 22 corner kicks, throw-ins 22, crosses 45, fouls 8, offsides 4, counter-attacks 2, and goalie saves 0. Now, with the counter-attacks being so low, that's because you're so good at bringing the ball out. You don't need to counter-attack. I reckon weaker teams.
Spain basically played with the centre halves, the right and left back were up there. They were bombing on. More so on the left with Olga Carmona, more so with her than Bataille. So it was more attacking coming down the left. But then you had I can't even say you had Bonmati sitting as a 6 because they was pushing up, so they didn't have no one sitting. The two Spanish centre halves stood either on the halfway line or in the half of Costa Rica.
Oh my God. You see, they play very offensively. Even their defenders are capable of bringing the ball out and attacking. That's what makes them stand out as a very exciting team to watch as well. Because I always like watching Spanish football, regardless. you know, because the technical skill is up there with the very best. But they also got defenders who can put it about as well, which I love. You know, when you've got technical defenders, you've got more chance of winning the game because you're adding to it. You're adding to the flavours you've got in midfield and the flavours you've got up front. Yeah. So come on. Now I've got to give a special mention to Joseph C. Lewis. He's become a new member. Joseph C. Lewis, well done. He's our chairman. Woo! I don't know how true that is. And then his greetings from the Bahamas. That is so funny, man. So funny. Right, let's see where I left it off. Yeah, so Wayne Bonner's super chat I left it off from, didn't I? Yeah, and then I think I was here because I started it. Was it Kelly? No, that was Kelly, not Kelly White, Ellen White, a striker who bottled taking penalties. Do you know what? David Clark is full of all the negative side of the players as well, because he'll big up somebody who's worth it, like Beth England, but then he'll hit out Ellen White missing the penalties. Well done, David. He makes me laugh. Daniel E. They looked quite lackluster in their first game of the Euros as well. Oh, we've had that one, haven't we? We've done that one. And then centre forward in the squad, both feet and great in the air. Yeah, so yes, got that one. Good more. Here we go. Wilton McDonald. This chap lives in, I think he lives in Florida, in America, if I'm right. Well, he lives in America anyway. There's a dog in the background. Is that your dog, Jose?
One of my German shepherds, yeah. One of them's barking.
That's it. You walled off anybody out your house with that German shepherd. They're not coming anywhere near it.
I've got two of them, a brother and sister.
Well, I've only got 2 cats. They're not doing much if a burglar gets in. They'll probably welcome them. Right, so we've got Wilton McDonald saying, good morning, Queen Elly and Jose. He probably didn't know you were on. Let's see if he says it later. The Women's World Cup, Wilton McDonald saying, the Women's World Cup has shown that the world of women's football is growing so fast that most other countries have caught up with the nations who was some distance in front. That's what you were saying, weren't you, as well? So well done for that as well, Wilton, for pointing that out.
It's interesting because when I was talking to you about it and I was saying to you, for me, women's football, although I haven't watched it as much years ago, I did know that years ago it used to be all about the USA, Japan, Germany, and the Scandinavian countries. So when you showed the previous winners in one of your earlier slides, I thought to myself, well, all the countries I named are on there. The only one I didn't name that was on there was Brazil.
Yeah, they finished third. Their best position is third. So they need to get on that beach and do some more samba football.
Yeah, so to me, all the teams, like I said to you earlier, Elly, I think that in Europe, you've got Spain, France, England, who have played catch up to Germany and the Scandinavian countries. And in many respects, have overtaken some of these countries. And, you know, it remains to be seen whether the countries can come up against the USA and get the better of them. I mean, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, and also you've got to acclimatise to each country's weather as well. I know sometimes they use that as an excuse, and you've got a really long flight over to Australia. So some of those English girls and the Spanish girls were probably feeling it, but with the technical skill of the Spanish and the technical skill of the English, they should overcome that. And you'll see as the tournament progresses, you'll see the better technical teams progress, and they'll be the most exciting to watch as well, Jose, I would imagine. For me, I think Spain, I've said it before, I think Spain impressed me the most so far, right? And I did like the way New Zealand played as well. Very on the front foot.
Have you watched the Japan highlights? Because I haven't seen the Japan highlights. No, I haven't watched
that yet. No, but I want to watch it because they're up there.
TalkSport was saying that Japan played really well against Zambia, and that Zambia were like one of these sides coming into the competition that everyone was like, oh, these are an up-and-coming nation. Well, to brush them aside 5-0 just on the scoreline alone, that's got to be a massive result.
Yeah. Do you know one thing you know about the Japanese people? They're so diligent in everything they do, and they'll be focused. That's one thing. They're fantastic players. When they go on the pitch, they give their all. You know, there's some nations they don't turn up for big competitions. you know, and they fall by the wayside. But the main thing with Japan, what I've noticed, their players are like, they go in, they're focused, they want to win, and they really battle for every single ball, even the men's football and the women's football, what I've seen. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with that match, Jose, you know. I can't wait, because there's a lot of, for me, it's catch up now, because I've been preparing for shows and being on Thfc till I die. Sometimes you don't get enough hours in the day to fit it all in. You just can't. It's impossible, right? Anyway, let's get back to our chat. We've got Andre Thfc, isn't that lovely? Meta Football TV, which is Chris. He's a lovely guy. Big up Elly and Eltel. España, dra, dra. Is it tra, dra, dra? Is that how you say it? España, dra, dra, dra. Whoa. Right. I love Spain. I love a bit of paella as well. Beautiful. Right. So Wilton McDonald saying, look out for a Colombian called Casiedo. There are two of the sisters, but the forward player is going to be some player. All right. Yeah. So Casiedo, isn't there a player for Brighton who's called that as well?
No, this is Caicedo.
Quesado.
This is Caicedo, and Caicedo is with an E, and he's
Yeah,
Panamanian.
it's different, but it's a similar sounding name. But yeah, we will look out for that. The Colombians, right? I'll give you a little bit of tit tat now. They actually played Republic of Ireland in a pre World Cup friendly, and they had to call off the match because they were bullyish towards the Irish girls. So the Irish girls refused to, play the rest of the match, and they walked off the pitch. And one of their players was hospitalised as well. So it's really bad. Yeah. So, maybe they have to slow down on the old, that heavy tackle like the Romero. I'll call it the Romero or the Højbjerg.
So their Colombian's first game is against the Korean Republic. Sorry, South Korea. South Korea,
yeah. Yeah. So maybe we should send an email to the South Koreans.
I reckon they'll be able to look after themselves, all right.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Meta Football saying, big up my Spanish bro Jose, doing a great job. Yes, he is. That's why I invited him on my show, because he's a man with knowledge as well, and he's very personable and likable. I love him. Yeah, and we met on Twitter, didn't we? Yeah, that's where we met. It's not a love affair yet because we're both married. Don't tell the husband. Right. Right. Where were we? We were up to the Spanish game with Costa Rica. And then, I'm going to mention the stadiums. Costa Rica match played at the Wellington Regional Stadium, Wellington, New Zealand, greeted by traditional Maori dancers, was absolutely fabulous and noted for the haka. So that was good. I watched that. It was really good. And there's a little bit of controversy over that. I don't know if you read about that. The Spanish team, and they had to apologise because before they weren't really mocking the haka. They were just doing the haka. But I think there was a bit of hullabaloo, and then the Spanish players had to apologise to the Maori people who did, But you know what? I don't think there was any malice intended. That's my own personal opinion anyway. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah. I've done the haka before. Does that mean I'm going to take the mickey out of it? I'm doing it because I love it. I think it's a brilliant dance, and the way they beat their chest and everything. It's fantastic. Right. So what we got now, we're going to go on to Alexa Putellas. Right, so I've got Alexia. Is that how you pronounce it? Alexia?
Yeah, Alexia, yeah.
Putellas Sigora.
Yeah.
So what is the because a lot of names, they've got the three names in the Spanish language. Is that like a family name?
Yeah. So it's first of all, it's you get your mother's maiden name, so your mother's surname and your father's surname.
Nice.
So it's the same as when you get all these people now, the double-barrel surnames. The double-barrel surnames has got a hyphen in it. So you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi. So Hudson and Odoi are the family.
Yeah,
One's the mum's name, one's the dad's name.
yeah.
But in Spain, you carry both names.
Yeah, so, same in Cyprus, right? Like my dad's real surname is Sava, but he took his grandfather's name, Lozidis, and he turned it into Loizu. So
Yeah,
our family name is Loizu, right? But it really should be Sava. It should
yeah,
be Sava because that was his what we call a granddad, Bapu. That's the Bapu. So you should really take that name. But his brother kept Sava, and my dad took Loizidis and changed it
yeah.
into Loizu. So I can see where you're coming from there. But she's a fabulous player. She, you know what? There's so much about her. It's unbelievable. I couldn't write it all in thing, but she's a commanding star player. Just won Champions League for the second time with Barcelona. She was born on the 4th of February, first choice captain, and won all major European awards by the year 2022. And I'll get up some more details about her as well. Right, here we go. Got a pro. She's become the first player to win the UEFA Women's Player of the Year. She's the first player to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't know how is it Ballon d'Or Feminine? I think they
Feminine.
pronounce it Feminine twice in a row. A lifelong Barcelona fan, in May 2021, became the first player from her club to lift the UEFA Women's Champions League trophy, and those exploits helped Alexia win an unprecedented treble of individual awards and honours: UEFA Women's Player of the Year, FIFA Women's Best Player of the Year, and Ballon d'Or Feminine. What a player! What a player. I could go on for centuries talking about her, but we'll be here till tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We'll still be talking about her, you know. But you know what? You've got to big up a player like with her skill, right? And I've got some more tit tat about her as well. Yeah, not that one. That one's not about her. There's some more thing I've had about her. Here we go. Here it is. Women's football reporter Asif Burham wrote that Budala's dedication to the sport has revolutionized the women's game. She has played for Barcelona since 2012. She also played for Catalonia 3 times internationally. Yeah, but do you know a little bit about that? Why that was the case?
Right. So in Spain, right, we have regions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is uproar in a lot of these regions. They want to be recognized as their own state or their own country. So
Yeah,
you have Catalonia for the pronunciation. It's Catalonia.
Catalonia,
You have País Vasco, the Basque region. You
right?
have you have Galicia, where I'm from, Los Gallegos. You have Andalusia as well. They're all split up into regions, and a lot of these people want to be recognised as their own entity. So I'm not too sure on the rest of Spain because I don't look at the rest of Spain. I only ever look at Galicia. And in
Why
Galicia,
not?
we've got our own recognised language, which is a dialect Gallego, and it's a recognised language now. I suppose you've got that in the País Vasco, where the people speak Basque, and you've got that in Catalonia as well, I suppose, because they speak Cataluñés, which is a totally different language to Spanish.
It's a different language. I've
Yeah,
seen it on the news as well that they wanted their own state and they
yeah.
wanted their own prime minister as well. And they wouldn't accept the mainland Spain's prime minister.
So
And
when you
like,
go,
oh,
when you go to, if you're traveling through Spain and you travel through the País Vasco, everything is, you get welcome and all that. You get it on different nationalities. But when
yeah,
you're driving through the País Vasco, you hardly ever see anything in Spanish. It's always in the Basque pronunciations. What you see
right, brilliant.
In Catalonia as well, you've got everything in Cataluñés.
Yeah,
So
they want to
they
be a
all do it.
separate nation. They want to be a separate state
They all do
altogether.
it.
Yeah,
So the interesting thing is that who are we talking about? We're talking about La Reina Putellas, right? So yeah,
yeah,
with Putellas, yeah, it makes sense because she was born in Mollet de Valles in Barcelona. So she's born in Catalonia herself. So therefore, if she sees herself as Barcelona or Cataluñés through and through, then it makes absolute sense that she would have played for Catalonia back in
yeah,
2014 where she made 3 appearances and scored a goal. But she was
yeah,
also playing for Spain at the same time because her Spain career started in
yeah,
2012, so 2 years beforehand. So yeah,
yeah.
interesting. But she's not the only one. There's more players in the squad that have played for Catalonia.
And she was the first Spanish women's footballer to reach 100 caps as well, I must add, which is incredible in itself. Because I don't think there's many male footballers who've reached that many caps in their history, have they? I mean, even the great Glenn Hoddle only got 53, very shamefully, on England. Stupid gits. Sorry about that, but they were. Glenn Hoddle, the ultimate English footballer, and he only gets 53 caps.
Yeah, but if in the era that Glenn Hoddle was playing, let's say the late 70s, early 80s, or to mid 80s, when you look at the players that were playing around at that time and that, Glenn Hoddle, had he played for Brazil, he would have won 100 caps.
Easily.
Had he played for Spain, he would have had 100 caps. Had he
Spain,
played for
everyone.
Italy, 100
100
caps.
caps.
France weren't the best team in the 70s, early 80s, so I'm not going to say France, but if he had played in France, he probably would have won 100 caps there as well. Any country you go to, it was 100 caps. However, Glenn Hoddle was probably one of the first players that was deemed to be, by the British public or by footballers here in England, a luxury player.
Yeah, that luxury player, it stuck with him, didn't it? And like a lot of the managers, like I'm saying stupid gets to the managers who didn't pick him enough.
But look at all these other nations that had these so-called luxury players. They won European championships, they won World Cups, and that was with the luxury players.
Yeah,
it's stupid terminology that was used. Glenn Hoddle was far better than the 52 or 53 caps he got for England. And English people will tell you that, who support it, or who are England supporters. It's not about the club now. It's about an international player who should have got more recognition.
Yeah, very true. So I've got a bit about the 15 players withdrew from selection on September the 26th, 2022. There was a bit of a rebel rouse in there, wasn't there? Could you fill us in a little bit more about that, Jose? What you know of it?
I think I don't know too much about this, to be honest. I think it was something to do with the players and the Spanish FA. But it seems weird that when I say it seems weird, if you've got so it happened in 2022, and by 2022 Spain probably had a squad. If you look at the players that haven't been selected as well, Spain probably had, and I'm looking at it now, Spain had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Spain had about 40 players, that were in and around the squad, plus the 23. You've got about 63 players there. So what we're looking at is about 25% of the players withdrew from selection.
Yeah. But then they quickly did a U-turn, and 13 actually went to the World Cup. So, they must have had talks behind scenes to get the girls on side and, settle the dispute. That's all I saw it. What I read about it, it was quite amicable, and they did realise that, the country needs you, don't they? I mean, if you imagine turning up to the World Cup with 15 of your star players missing, it wouldn't have been a very good. Well, they still could have recovered. They would have been playing more of their youth team, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's interesting because the Spain squad. What did I say earlier? The Spain squad. I've got 9 from Barcelona, 7 from Real Madrid.
Barcelona, yeah.
The two that have not that kept their withdrawals. Am I right in saying, or are we right that they were both Barcelona players?
Yeah, I thought it was these two.
Maria Pilar Leon, and the other one is Patrick Guijarro.
Yeah.
Who is she's also Barcelona. So they're both Barcelona players. Patricia Guijarro is 25 and is a midfielder. Maria Pilar Leon is 28 and is a defender.
They're the two that stuck their heels in and actually stayed away. Yeah.
It's interesting because Guijarro, you've lost 52 caps in Guijarro and you've lost 54 caps in Maria Pilar Leon.
A lot of experience, isn't it?
So that's a lot of experience there. And then when you look at the back, the players in the squad at the moment, you've got Irene Paredes has got 91 caps, but then the next person who's got the next amount of caps is Iván Andrés, 48. So Mari Billy Leon would have been the second most capped defender there.
Yeah, in the current squad. Yeah.
In the current squad, and behind Alexi Putellas, because no one's got 103 caps, it's only her. But the next best capped midfielder would have been Guijara.
Yeah. You
Would have been
see?
Guijara. So you've lost a lot in just not them having them two there. But obviously they've stuck by their principles. Whatever it is I haven't agreed with has kept
Yeah.
them away. It remains to be seen what happens after the World Cup, whether they're, whether they relent or whether they're, and even if they do, whether they're invited back into the squad by the manager and that. Because I don't think
Yeah.
the beef is with the manager. I think the beef is with the FA.
Yeah. True. And I think with the most capped players, I've got the list here. It's I didn't type it up because I was like, look how many research we've done. But they are the top of the league of the most capped player is 103 caps with Alexia Putellas, and she scored 28 goals. And then the three players that actually didn't rebel, didn't hold the rebellion against the FA, is Jennifer Hermoso. Is that
Yeah,
right?
Jennifer Hermoso.
Her career started in 2011. She's 99 caps, 48 goals. Tremendous player who can score goals for fun. And then you've got Irene Paredes.
Paredes, yeah.
Yeah, 91 games, started her career, international career, 2011, 11 goals. So if you total that up, that's 50, 60, 60, 70, 78, 86, 89 goals they've
And
scored
and,
between them.
and that's coming from one defender and
Yeah,
two midfielders, because
two midfielders. That's not
Putellas,
even the strikers.
Putellas and Hermoso are not strikers.
And then older players who've since hung up their boots. A special mention, who's the actual assistant coach now, Martha. I don't know how you pronounce this. Is
Marta
it
Corredera.
what? Goron? It's spelled Tororejon.
Oh, you talk about Marta Torrejon.
Terrajon. Yeah,
Torrejon.
she played a career. She's the assistant coach now. From 2007 to 2019, she played 90 times, scoring 8 goals. Then the next player is what you just mentioned,
Yeah,
Martha
Marta Corredera.
Corredera, 2013 to 2021, 85 caps, 5 goals. And then you've got Aranza
Del Puerto.
de Puerto, 1990 to 2005. That's going back some time now. 71 caps. She didn't score any goals though, but she got 71 caps in there. So she did have some value. And then we've got Sylvia Meseguer,
Meseguer.
2008 to 2019, 67 caps and 5 goals. And then 2 more, Virginia Torrecilla.
Virginia Torrecilla.
That's it. 66 games between 2013 to 2020 when she hung up her boots internationally, scoring 7 goals. And Victoria Losada. Yep. 2010 to 2020, she played 65 games for Spain, scoring 13 goals. There you go.
And the 10th one is probably one of the most recognised players that Spain have ever had.
Yeah, go on, because it
and
cut off.
And number 10 was Mar Prieto. She started her career in 1989 and finished in 2000. She's got 62 caps and scored 30 goals. Now, I remember Mar Prieto, and this is before I started watching it in and out. And I remember Mar Prieto, and this is 1989, and I remember her.
Wow, that's really good that you remember the lady player, and she stood out with that amount of goals as well.
Back in them times as well, because there wasn't as many fixtures as what there are now. Back in the day, there wasn't as many fixtures. So if you're looking at a career that started in 89, to play 62 times and to score 30 goals, it's one every 2 games. So
it's amazing, isn't it?
Done well.
Like I did mention her just now. She's the assistant coach. What a great player. And to be recognised as a coach as well in the ladies' game, to take your footballing career into coaching, you've got to do your coaching badges first of all. So it's quite a hard slog, because I've done my coaching badges. There's a lot to learn. It's not as easy as people think, but for her to be made assistant coach is really good. And she'll be there in the dressing room, geeing up the girls just as much as the fella. And So look, we come to the end of the show, so it's time to big up my one and only Cockerel. You know, I want to give him the first mention. You can find him at Cockerel at Jose Garcia. Is it Garcia?
Garcia.
Garcia. Dash J for John, Y for Yankee, 4E for Echo, W for Whiskey. You see? So don't forget, get over there, subscribe, like everything this chap does. He's very knowledgeable. He knows his football, men and women. As you can see today, he's been a fantastic co-host with me here. You know, and it's lovely to have somebody who's so knowledgeable about the game in general as well, not just the women's game, the men's game as well. And I look forward to watching you, you know, progress throughout your YouTube career as well. I know you said you've got a few teething problems here and there, but you know what? We all do early doors. I don't even know how to put a slide on. Well, I do now because my daughter's taught me, but I've got a problem with our site. I've got to get, it keeps on coming up with an error message. So I would have had lots of pictures for you guys, but I'll keep on getting an error message when I load them up. So yeah. And then there's other people I'd like to big up as well. I'd like to big up my very good friend Kate Boxall. Brilliant. I'll be on her show at 8 o'clock tonight as well. So please do tune in and catch us there. I think Ben Kaufman and Jacob Will Raven from United States of America and Ben Kaufman from the Coffee Company is going to be on as well. So that's going to be a great show. And you can find Kate at https youtube.com/at just the girl who loves Spurs. What a great name, eh? And then the last but not least, we've got Mia, who's fantastic. She joins us on THC Till I Die, and she's also got her own show that she's storming it, Spurs Between the Lines. https://youtube.com/at Spurs Between the Lines 1. And just to reiterate, just to give my friend here, Jose, another shout out, please get over and subscribe to his fantastic channel. You know, it all helps him grow, and it'll give him confidence as well, because I know Jose, you personally, you want to make it the best you can. You know, you don't want to just put out any show. You want to put out a show that's worthy of yourself, you know. So tell people what to expect from your channel.
Like I said before, I'm not out here. I'm not trying to chase 1,000 subs and monetization. I'm not about that. It's just about taking you away from your normal daily routine, your normal daily work life, family life, and whatever, and just having some me time and just doing something that I want to do and talk about the club that I love, or the sport that I love.
Yeah.
However, in saying that, I had a chat with you about it, and I said, "Oh, this is really difficult stuff." So, and it is because I don't understand any of all this stuff at all. So, I've been viewing the community for over a year now, and I always shout out to the community whenever I do my videos. I always shout out to everyone in the community.
Yeah, you do.
I star up for everybody, because
Yeah.
everybody in the community is important. Everyone's got different opinions. Everyone's got different reasons for why they want to do it, and they're all valid in my eyes. Everyone's valid, and it's from being on like today. Let's say we're on today, preparing for this show. I don't know where you find the time for it, because the amount of stuff that you're sending me through and preparation for what you were going to do, it's just obscene amounts of work that goes on in the background. Obviously, I did my own homework as well, because it's only fair, and I've got to be fair to you. So I did my own homework, and I went up, and so I'm able to talk. I'm able to hold a conversation of what I'm talking about, and I'm able to help you out. But in the background, I can understand what you guys go through, because of the amount of work it takes to put a show on. And it's unbelievable amounts of work you guys do. So props to you all, because you're all doing great jobs. And at the end of the day, all I tell people, I don't care if you subscribe to me or not, to be honest, but subscribe to the other channels, because they're trying to make it out there. So subscribe to them.
And I like what Mia said here for you, Jose. Subscribe to Jose. Jose's link, go follow, otherwise I will find you. She will. I'm telling you. I love Mia. She's a feisty woman, but with a golden heart. you
But
know.
she's a one woman band, and therefore the work that she puts into it is, it's tremendous as well. She prepares her
Yeah,
show, she does her pre-videos and that. You
I
know,
know.
I've got an appreciation, apart from just watching the community, which I've done for over a year now. I've got an
Yeah,
appreciation of what amount of work goes into it, and you
yeah,
guys work so hard. Um,
yeah.
and at
It's
the end of the
true.
day,
It really is.
people need to understand that you're doing something out of love. All of you guys that do it, you're doing something out of love. The common theme is we all support Tottenham, but you're doing it out of love, and it takes a lot of work and effort. And it'd be nicer if the world was a nicer place, and you don't get some of the shenanigans that go on some of the channels that you see, where people come in and comment, and they're trying to bring the good feel factor right down, and it's not.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be
no.
done at all. It shouldn't be allowed. I'd say to you all, keep up your great work, because you lot are fantastic.
Yeah. Do you know what? We do it because we love Spurs, but we also do it because it gives us recreation and it gives us a link to the community of Spurs fans. And like in life in general, you're not going to like everybody. You're not going to get on with everybody, but you just take the blows with the good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
The
it's like
good stuff
when I
far
watch you guys
outweighs the bad stuff.
when I watch you guys on this channel,
Yeah.
um, and you've got Dermot comes up with these breaking news and stuff like that. You're
Yeah.
only bringing up what you're not making up. You're only bringing up what you're being fed or
Yeah.
told and stuff like that. And at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you're then relaying that information to another set of people. And then the comments that I see, some of the comments that I see coming in when you're relaying things, I'm just thinking to myself, really, come
I
on.
know. I know.
These people are putting time and effort into what they're doing, and you just want to go and belittle them. Go away. You go and do
Yeah.
something else. You go find something else to do. This,
That's it.
if you're going to do that, you might as well destroy your keyboard and go and do something wise with your life. Seriously,
Yeah.
go and do something wise with
Very
your life,
true.
because
Well
being
said.
behind that keyboard's not helping you out. So, as I said, watching you guys, I mean, I watched THFC till I die, and obviously Mia's on there as well with Spurs Between the
Yeah.
Lines. You've had Kate on there, Jessica who loves Spurs. You're all a brilliant gang of people, and you're all doing it for your own reasons. Just carry on
Yeah.
doing it. Don't let
And
people stop you.
also, Jose, what we can disagree on our show, but we're all mates after the show. There's difference of opinions, right? We can disagree, but we're all always talk to each other civilly, you know. And it's just an opinion at the end of the day. You know, it doesn't matter. Even if three people go against you or two go against you, you just take it on the chin. If that's what they think and that's what you think, stick by your guns, say what you
Yeah,
feel, right? And don't get swayed by others,
yeah.
but
You know what
be
you let
correct with it. Don't attack the person, attack the
no.
argument.
That's it.
That's it.
You know what you're letting yourself in for when you do something like this.
Yeah,
However, I don't think, unless you really look into it, I don't think that people will appreciate the amount of time and effort it takes to do any of these kind of shows. Like I said about Mia and that, one person doing it, as opposed to maybe you've got channels that got 4 and 5 people that do it and they
it's
share the
true.
channel. Do you know what I mean? But it's still the work that has to go into it. And
Yeah,
to then have people come on the show, or come into your chats and try and belittle you, it's not worth it. You know,
I know.
at the end of
I
the
know.
day,
I know.
these
I
people
know.
need to go away, blow up their laptops or computers or whatever, and find themselves something real to do.
Do what Mark Cousins does and get a hammer out on it. Yeah, but see, like little things like this. Thanks, Elly. Isn't that lovely by
Yeah.
Mia? And then you've got Jula saying, "Just sub to tell Cockerel, my niece." Lovely.
Can I just say, Drew, like I had a conversation with Elly the other day, and
Yeah.
it was one of your football shows that you both did together. I think it might be the England show that you did.
Oh yeah.
Um, and honestly, you were both, but both of you had the times of the match on, and you were trying to compare who was behind and who was forward by a few seconds, and you both came on off camera. The minute you both came off camera, but you were both still talking, anybody who didn't know any different would have said that was the same person talking
I
all the way
know.
through.
We sound exactly the same. We
It
really
was
do.
it was
When I
so
phone them
uncanny.
up, I think that I'm talking to myself. Yeah. Look,
It
we've
was
got
brilliant. It was
one
brilliant.
more
So uncanny.
time. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, Mia. One more time, Jose, link, guys. Please go follow this lovely gentleman.
Thanks, Mia.
https://youtube.com/at Jose Garcia -JY 4EW. And then
Thank
we've
you.
got
That's
one
very
more,
kind of you.
last. Mia is great straight talking. She
Yeah.
is. Do you know what? With Mia, right? She says she shoots from the hip and she shoots from her heart, right? What she believes in, and she won't get swayed by somebody who's trying to bully her, which is fantastic. You know, because as a woman in the community as well, we're fighting against a lot of things, right? I won't go into it, but we are. So, you know, for her to do her own show and do it so beautifully and have really good guests on as well, like Flav, David Harris has been on, Jack Kanicki's been on, you know, top people in our community steering to her channel, which is fabulous. And I'll always go out and make a comment for her.
And it's the hard work that she does.
It's appreciated.
And you do as well, because I see, obviously I've got you on Twitter as well, Elly, and I see the stuff that you put out on Twitter and all that.
Oh yeah, I love
It's hard work all the way through. Kate as well. It's hard work. It's hard work for all of you. And as I keep saying, just continue. If it's what you want to do, continue doing it. I just wish, and I can't stop them because there's no way of stopping them, but I just wish that some of these people would just go away and just find themselves something else to do. Go and crawl under the rocks that you came from. Find something else to do. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, keep it up, and it's great work from all of you.
Oh look, Luke Chapman's put, this is the new Northampton Puma away kit for the 2023-24 season, but we can't see it, so
there's
that's a
nothing
shame.
there.
There's nothing there, but if you have got it, Luke, put it up because we can't see it. And then Brian requires some of the abused fellow YouTubers get his bang out of order. It really is, right? So on that note, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up something that Dermot loves bringing up, and I love bringing it up as well. This is going to be Jose. Right, I'll do it again. This is going to be Jose. Is Spain win the World Cup, the Women's World Cup? Here we go. And on that note,
that was more. That was not a World Cup. That's Tottenham winning a game.
Do you know what? And our game was called off today from Waterloo Pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm due to go on at 5 o'clock with Chris on Meta Football.
Lovely, I'll tune in.
And he messaged me and he said, "Do you still want to do it?" Because it was going to be his first show that he's doing live, and it was going to be a talk about football. And he sent me a message, and I thought to myself, "Do you know what? Well, there's other things that we can talk about. It's Chris's channel. It's Chris's channel, and he's starting off. So, you know, I said to Chris, there's no point cancelling if you're going to start off, because you got to start as you mean to go ahead. You've got to tread the water, do that first show, and then Chris will pick up from there and go on to bigger and better things."
Yeah, he will. Well done, Chris. I look forward to seeing your show with this lovely gentleman as well. Take care, everybody, wherever you are. Give your loved ones a kiss. Don't forget, because your loved ones will always be your loved ones. You take care, everybody.
Elly, muchas gracias por todo. Arriba España.
Viva España.
No, but I'm saying arriba España. A por ellos.
Arriba España. Way. Come on. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Eltel.